Joining for more on this is Dr. Trita, Parsi, Executive Vice President at the Quincy Institute in Washington, D.C. Thanks for your time. Fascinating to see that there are still successful strikes going on at the moment with the presence of these US warships. What does it say around how hard this Houthi threat is to combat?
Well, I think from the very beginning, it was quite clear that the United States would have tremendous difficulty deterring the Houthis from conducting these strikes. The Houthis have already fought the Saudis and the US for more than 8 years, and they've come out on top in that war. They have capabilities provided to them, most likely from Iran, more than 200,000 fighting troops, according to the CIA. And one of the challenges the US faces is that the Houthis actually don't have to succeed in striking the ships by just simply shooting rockets. It's enough to get Western vessels not to use the Red Sea because the risk is simply too high. So even without actually successfully striking any of these targets, the heightening of the tensions that has come as a result of the US striking the Houthis essentially makes their blockade of the Red Sea more effective. And their objective is to force Israel into a ceasefire and stop the bombardment of Gaza. And the question raises then, of course, why the Biden administration did not even consider that option in order to stop these attacks by the Houthis.
So what you allude to there, I suppose, is the fact that we're talking not about the warships, the threat to them, but civilians who are on these cargo ships. When you have, even though this missile strike didn't actually take the ship down, the most recent one, if you're considering heading there, if you're going to say to your family, hey, I'm off for another cargo ship run, you're probably not going to want to go to the Red Sea, are you? It's not going to take much more to deter people from wanting to get on these ships, whether or not the company wants them to or not.
Absolutely. And the company itself probably wouldn't want that anyways, because the insurance cost, et cetera, is so high that it's actually better to take a different route. And the issue is that with the US now beginning to bombard the Houthis, we're not seeing anything that actually indicates that the threat is lessened and that the sea lanes are open. On the contrary, the tensions are higher and more ships are now actually avoiding the Red Sea as a result. Now, one could argue, well, if the US just hits them much harder and degrades their capabilities, perhaps this will stop. I really find that quite unlikely. And again, it raises the question, there were other options available to the president. It was very clear that Houthi said that they would stop their attacks if there was a ceasefire in Gaza. During the 6 days in which there was a ceasefire in Gaza in the late November of last year, the Iraqi militias completely stopped their attacks against US troops. There's only one attack in the Red Sea that we can, with confidence, attribute to the Houthis. So it seems like there was an other option that actually had proven effective. And if the Biden administration really wanted to keep these sea routes open and avoid the type of escalation towards a larger war in the region, then it seems like that option should have at least been tried before using force.
The sort of job of the warships has been fascinating in of itself, likened to World War II, that they try to bunch cargo ships together and have warships almost escorting them. So it's been, that's the strategic thing at play. But the broader element you alluded to there, it's Irani-backed Houthis. What's the danger of escalation here? Because the US is now showing a willingness, not surprisingly, to strike back. What's the danger of escalation? How would that likely play out if it did?
Well, the danger of escalation is quite significant. We saw the Iranians striking Erbil earlier today, very close to the US consulate. We're just walking closer and closer towards a much larger regional confrontation, which will not end well for anyone. I mean, the United States' last few wars in the Middle East have been complete strategic disasters. Yet here we are again. And again, the bias in the thinking, in the calculation, is towards using military force, despite the fact that it's been proven over and over again not to be effective.
Dr. Trita, Parsi, appreciate your time today. Thank you.